Hi, I'm Danielle Karen, and in this podcast, I'm going to share with you knowledge and tools that I believe should be accessible to everyone. They're fundamental and essential to being human. Embody Your Power is an integrative model that bridges science, spirituality, and ancient wisdom to give you the resources needed to live your fullest potential. As a psychotherapist for over 16 years and now as a coach, I help people know, reclaim, and embody their power on all levels. It's my mission to help you connect to your unshakable resilience, to know true power and freedom, to be sovereign, and to remember your divine nature. If you're wanting to learn tools to release layers of conditioning, heal from trauma, feel at home in your body, have inner peace, expand your capacity for joy, connect spiritually, and take a journey with me to embody your power, then this podcast is for you. Thank you for joining me. Together, let's raise our consciousness to help evolve humanity. What is consciousness? Consciousness is the most fundamental aspect of our reality, yet most of us haven't been taught much about it. Physicist and researcher Nassim Haramein made a joke in an interview about how when he gave talks at physics conferences in the 90s, they could use the F word, but using the C word was cause for automatic dismissal. He said, "You'd be asked to leave if you mentioned consciousness." Consciousness, according to Nassim Haramein, is a kind of self-awareness where every point of information in the universe is being fed back to the universe. This process creates reality and the universe evolves. He believes that every part of the universe contains the whole within it, much like a hologram. Spiritual teacher Matt Kahn says, "Consciousness is everything and ever expanding. It is what is animating all form." In this episode, we'll unravel the mysteries of consciousness, exploring how it shapes not just our personal experiences, but also the very fabric of reality itself. From the profound teachings of spiritual traditions to the groundbreaking revelations of quantum physics, I hope to inspire you to see yourself as a vital thread in the grand tapestry of existence. You'll learn how embracing your true nature can ignite profound change, both within yourself and in the world. This episode is an invitation to rediscover your deepest self and truth, and to embrace the limitless potential of your consciousness. Consciousness is one of the most profound and mysterious aspects of existence. It is the lens through which we experience reality. It is the essence of our being and the driving force behind the universe's evolution. Throughout history, philosophers, spiritual teachers, scientists, and mystics have explored consciousness, each offering unique insights into its nature, purpose, and potential. From the perspective of internal family systems, or IFS, and parts work, the core self is consciousness. I'm going to explore how this type of work gives us a very tangible and practical way to awaken our consciousness in this podcast. As mentioned in the last episode, we can see the parts as the ones on the journey of awakening from pain, trauma, conditioning, burdens, and fear. The conscious core self is supporting and guiding our parts on this journey. In the 20th century, the emergence of quantum physics revolutionized our understanding of the universe and opened new avenues for exploring consciousness. In quantum physics, there's a famous experiment called the double slit experiment. It showed the difference between particles and waves and how observing something can change it. Imagine you have a board with two slits in it, and you're throwing tiny balls like marbles at it. When the marbles go through the slits, they make marks that create two straight lines behind each slit. This shows that marbles, like particles, go through one slit or the other. Now, if you send tiny particles like photons or electrons through the same slits, something surprising happens. Instead of 2 lines, you get a pattern of many stripes on the screen, like the ripples you see when waves overlap in water. This tells us that photons and electrons can act like waves, spreading out and interfering with each other. Here's the really interesting part. If you try to watch or measure which slit the electrons go through, they stop acting like waves and start behaving like particles again, creating just 2 lines. This is called the observer effect. It's like the particles know they're being watched and change their behavior because of it. So the double slit experiment shows us that some things can behave both like particles and waves, and simply observing them can change what they do. Quantum physics reveals that at the most fundamental level, reality is not as solid as it appears. Instead, it is a field of possibilities where particles exist in a state of potentiality until observed. The observer effect in quantum mechanics suggests that the act of observation collapses a wave function into a definite state, implying that consciousness plays a role in shaping reality. Max Planck, known as the father of quantum theory, states, "All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. This mind is the matrix of all matter." To illustrate this, Rupert Sheldrake, a biologist known for his work on consciousness, remarks, "The observer effect suggests that consciousness is not separate from the physical world, but deeply intertwined with it. Our awareness participates in the unfolding of reality." This perspective highlights the profound impact of our consciousness on shaping the world around us. This begs the question then, why aren't we being taught more about this? Let's think about the power our consciousness has on impacting reality. What if the way you saw someone is contributing to the potential of that person experiencing that reality? This concept is being used in various healing modalities with a good amount of positive results. In these practices, a group of people focus their attention on someone, let's say in a health crisis, and see them as already whole and healed. It's important then to ask ourselves, who and what's influencing the way that we observe the world? How are we being perceived by people in our life? Do we have pessimistic parts? Where did we get our understanding of reality from? Ram Dass, a psychologist and spiritual teacher, shares, "The observer effect is a beautiful reminder that how we see the world is a reflection of our inner state. Change the observer and you change what is observed. Indeed, our perception of the world can shift dramatically based on our internal state of being. What have you noticed when you're looking at the world from the expansiveness of your core self versus from the more limited view of your parts?" Byron Katie, an influential figure on my path, adds her insight. "The mind is the observer that shapes reality. When you question your thoughts, you dissolve illusions, and you see the world with clarity, just like in quantum physics." Rituals, prayers, and meditative practices in ancient cultures were often seen as ways to influence reality, harnessing the power of focused intention to bring about change in the material world. When thinking about the observer effect, what if this means that if a powerful force can get most people to think a certain way and look at the world a certain way, then they can create a particular reality? Do you believe that the collective consciousness is that powerful? When you look at the main sources informing and influencing humanity, what kind of impact do you see them having? Over the years, several studies have explored the impact of large-scale meditation on societal outcomes, such as reducing crime, violence, and conflict. These studies, often associated with the Maharishi effect and the superradiance effect, involve groups practicing transcendental meditation and related techniques with the intention of promoting peace and harmony. The research spans various locations and periods from war-torn areas like Lebanon in the 80s to major cities worldwide. The results have consistently suggested that when a critical mass of people meditate together, there's a noticeable reduction in negative social behaviors, such as crime rates and violence levels. Dr. Joe Dispenza has begun to organize Walk for the World meditations to research the impact of group meditation on global consciousness and societal well-being. I've participated in these events, and it's very touching to see so many people come together at the same time to affect positive change. I would like to see humanity utilize this power to bring more unification and harmony to the world. Quantum entanglement in quantum physics is when entangled particles appear to be connected instantaneously, regardless of distance, suggesting a non-local connection that transcends the limits of space and time, thus connecting all living beings in a unified field of awareness. Wow. Neil Donald Walsh, author of Conversations with God, eloquently states, "Quantum entanglement shows us that separation is an illusion. In the realm of consciousness, everything is linked, and what we do to one, we do to all." Many indigenous cultures share this belief that we are but one thread within the cosmic web. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. All things are bound together, and all things connect. Eckhart Tolle supports this concept, saying, "In the dimension of consciousness, there is no separation. All things are interconnected." This is reflected in quantum entanglement, where the oneness of all life becomes apparent. Many ancient cultures believe in the interconnectedness of all life. For instance, in Hinduism, the concept of Brahman represents the ultimate reality that underlies everything, where all individual souls are part of this universal consciousness. In the Hermetic tradition, the principle of the all is mind suggests that the universe is a mental creation, implying that consciousness is the foundation of all existence. In addition, Hermetic philosophy supports the principle of as above, so below, speaking to the interconnectedness of the microcosm and macrocosm. Similarly, Buddhism has a concept called Praticca, which holds that all phenomena are interconnected and arise due to the interdependence of various factors. Buddhists also believe the mind is the creator of reality, where thoughts shape experiences. In Taoism, there's the idea with the Tao as the fundamental principle that connects and harmonizes all aspects of the universe. The quantum field in quantum physics reveals that space is not empty. It is a dynamic, active environment filled with fluctuating fields and energy. This means that space is a reservoir of endless possibilities rather than a void. The Taoist concept of Wu Wei and the Buddhist idea of sunyata refer to a state of being where everything and nothing exist simultaneously, representing infinite potential. This void is seen not as nothingness, but as the source of all possibilities. Let's take a look at how the quantum field is seen as consciousness. David Bohm, a quantum physicist and philosopher, introduced the idea of the implicate order, where consciousness and the quantum field are seen as emerging from the same underlying reality. Amit Goswami, a theoretical physicist and pioneer in the field of quantum consciousness, asserts, "Consciousness, not matter, is the ground of all being, and consciousness is the quantum field." If consciousness is the same as the quantum field of infinite possibilities, how do we honor all those possibilities? Spiritual teachers and mystics across various traditions have provided profound insights into the nature of consciousness. They emphasize that consciousness is not merely a byproduct of the brain, but the very essence of our being and the foundation of all existence. not just human existence. In the 1960s and 70s, Timothy Leary, Ram Dass, and Terence McKenna were dedicated to the exploration of human consciousness and the mysteries of the mind, utilizing psychedelics to support their exploration. Ram Dass and Timothy Leary were involved in early psychedelic research at Harvard. Timothy Leary, a psychologist and author, shares his perspective on how our individual consciousness is connected to a larger consciousness. He states, "We are all neurons in the great cosmic brain. Each of us is a unique expression of the universal consciousness, but we are all interconnected in this vast network of awareness." His words prompt us to consider our place within a larger cosmic network of consciousness. What if we are all neurons of a larger cosmic brain? What if the planet is thinking and evolving through us? Do we all have a role in receiving and sharing information and experiences so that the universal consciousness can evolve? Terence McKenna, an ethnobotanist and mystic, speaks to the power of consciousness with, "We have the ability within our own consciousness to create reality. This is the great secret that we've somehow forgotten, or maybe we're never told." McKenna underscores the mysterious and profound power of consciousness to create and influence reality, encouraging exploration into this larger, untapped potential. What if we were taught the power of our consciousness and how to use it from a young age? This is something that I think about often and am really passionate about. I would like to see a very different kind of education system where we're providing children with the knowledge and support to live their fullest potential. Consider McKenna's reflection. The individual is the cutting edge of the cosmos, the place where the universe becomes conscious of itself. Each of us is a unique expression of this greater consciousness, and through our personal explorations, we contribute to the collective awakening of humanity. From this perspective, we can see diversity as honoring the unique role that everyone has come here to play. We may not understand why someone is playing a particular role, yet we can honor the universe or consciousness wanting to have diverse experiences. Have you considered that your own awakening is contributing to the awakening of humanity, the planet, or the cosmos? Timothy Leary used the analogy of a cosmic game, where the ultimate goal is to remember our true nature as part of the whole. The game involves each person awakening to the truth that they are not just an individual, but a unique expression of the universal mind. Perhaps our true nature is so profound, we don't know how powerful and important we really are. What if we're actually playing really small when it comes to our true nature? Throughout history, many spiritual traditions have explored the idea that the universe is becoming conscious of itself through the experiences of individual beings. This concept is often linked to the idea that we are all expressions of a single universal consciousness, experiencing itself subjectively. Ram Dass beautifully articulates how our life experiences reflect the universe's quest for self-discovery. He states, "When you know how to listen, everybody is the guru speaking to you. Everything in your life is there as a vehicle for your transformation. Use it. The universe is reflecting itself back to you, trying to wake you up to who you truly are." What if it's not about judging someone as right or wrong, but how consciously we're going to respond to that person? This is where IFS and parts work can support us in being more conscious. If we can become aware of which part of us is responding, then we can work with those parts by bringing the loving and compassionate presence of our core self to them. We can help our parts unburden the pain, fear, and conditioning they've been carrying and become conscious, connected, and integrated with the core self, thus allowing us to interact more consciously with others. If you've done IFS work, you've seen that when burdened parts are interacting with other burdened parts, then we're experiencing tension, conflict, and inner war. The same happens externally when our parts are interacting with other people's parts. The key is to identify our parts, to work with them, so that we can respond from our highest consciousness. Ram Dass emphasized that through our lives, relationships, and experiences, the universe is rediscovering itself. Every act of kindness, love, or awareness is a moment where the divine essence shines through the veil of separateness. The process of awakening, therefore, is not about gaining something new, but about remembering our true nature. Terence McKenna believed that the universe fractured itself into countless individual consciousnesses so that it could experience itself from different perspectives. One of McKenna's key metaphors for explaining this concept was the cosmic library. He would describe the universe as a grand library filled with books where each book represents a unique consciousness or life experience. The universe then experiences the lives in each of these books to gain knowledge of itself. By dividing itself into individual consciousnesses, the universe can explore its own infinite potential and complexity. McKenna believes we are the universe's attempt to know itself. We are the explorers, the adventurers of consciousness, sent out to the frontiers of experience to bring back knowledge and insight. Every insight, every realization is a step forward in the universe's self-awareness. It's important then to honor that diverse experiences contribute to learning and evolving. The whole spectrum is needed. How often have you gained knowledge and insight from the painful and challenging times in your life? Alan Watts, a renowned philosopher, poetically expresses our role in the universe's self-perception. Through our eyes, the universe is perceiving itself. Through our ears, the universe is listening to its harmonies. We are the witnesses through which the universe becomes conscious of its glory, of its magnificence. His words suggest that each of us is a unique expression of the universe's consciousness, contributing to its ongoing self-awareness. Rupert Sheldrake introduced the theory of morphic resonance, which posits that memories and behaviors are not just stored in individual brains, but are part of a collective memory field that influences all living organisms. Sheldrake's ideas challenge the conventional understanding of consciousness as purely brain-based, suggesting instead that consciousness is a field that extends beyond the individual, connecting us with others and with the universe at large. One of Rupert Sheldrake's early experiments focused on rats learning new tasks, such as navigating a maze. He proposed that once one group of rats mastered a task, it would become easier for other rats to learn it, even those in distant locations, which he found to be true. This concept is central to his theory of morphic resonance, which suggests that behaviors and knowledge can be transmitted across a species through a kind of collective memory. Sheldrake's idea can be likened to the phenomenon of the 4-minute mile. Before Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile in 1954, it was widely believed that running a mile in under 4 minutes was impossible. However, after Bannister achieved this feat, many other runners quickly followed suit, suggesting that the collective belief in what was possible had shifted. Similarly, Sheldrake's theory implies that once one individual or group achieves a certain level of performance or knowledge, it becomes more accessible to others, as if the achievement creates a new baseline in the collective consciousness. Perhaps consciousness is not confined to the present moment or to our individual minds, but is part of a larger dynamic process that includes the past, the present, and the future. Thich Nhat Hanh reinforces the expansive nature of consciousness in sharing, "The universe is not separate from you. You are part of the universe, and the universe is part of you. Everything is interrelated, and you are the embodiment of that interconnection." I love this quote by astrophysicist and cosmologist Carl Sagan. "The cosmos is within you. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself." How does it impact you to consider that you are playing a role in the universe becoming conscious of itself? Now let's explore how free speech is vital for the expansion of consciousness, as it allows individuals to express their thoughts, question existing beliefs, and explore new ideas, fostering personal and collective growth. By supporting free speech, we create an environment where consciousness can evolve, leading to a more enlightened and aware society. Aldous Huxley, a visionary thinker, underscores the critical link between free speech and the evolution of consciousness. He states, "The more a society values its freedom of speech, the more it allows for the expansion of human consciousness and the exploration of new ideas. The human mind evolves through the open exchange of ideas, and without this freedom, progress is stifled." Thomas Paine, an influential philosopher in the 18th century, also spoke to freedom and its relationship to consciousness when he stated, "The right to dissent is the most important guarantee of freedom. It ensures that the evolution of consciousness can continue unhindered by tyranny or oppression." Noam Chomsky, a renowned professor and one of the founders of the field of cognitive science, shares, "The right to criticize and the freedom to express one's ideas are fundamental to the evolution of human consciousness and social progress." Socrates, the great philosopher, emphasizes the importance of questioning and dialogue in awakening self-awareness. Socrates believed that self-knowledge is the key to understanding one's place in the universe. Socrates' method of dialectic questioning was aimed at uncovering deeper truths about existence and consciousness. Through conversations and debates, he encouraged others to question their assumptions and discover the essence of their own beliefs. This process was seen as a way to awaken to a higher state of awareness and understanding of one's relationship to the universe. Supporting free speech means fostering an environment where individuals can express their thoughts and ideas without fear of censorship or retribution. This openness contributes to a more informed and engaged society where innovation and truth can emerge more readily. Humanity is in a precarious place at the moment with the censoring of free speech and the elimination of debates, especially in the mainstream media and social platforms. We're currently putting people in jail for expressing different opinions or releasing information to the public. It also appears we are quickly losing a culture where we respect others who have different opinions and the ability to agree to disagree. If you've experienced having a different opinion from the mainstream media, you've probably seen how different perspectives have been silenced. Let's ponder this. Imagine you're playing a complex game that you prepared your whole life for. You're playing against an opponent that has all the information and strategies in the world that exists on this game, but you were given a limited amount of information about the game. How would you feel? I love how Ralph Waldo Emerson supports the importance of not putting people in boxes. He shares, "Every man is a new being in every moment. The freedom to express one's thoughts allows consciousness to evolve and grow." What if we lived in a more open and compassionate environment that allowed us to express our different opinions more freely? Is it possible that this would allow greater potential for us to update our beliefs and evolve our consciousness? Ram Dass contributes, "To love yourself is to be free. To be free is to allow yourself the freedom to express who you truly are, which includes the freedom to speak and think as you wish." Spiritual teacher Matt Kahn beautifully encapsulates this topic with, "When we embrace the full spectrum of our consciousness, we naturally respect the freedom of others to do the same, including their right to express their truth." What is the impact on consciousness if we install fear in a population for expressing themselves freely? Now let's look at some practical ways to awaken our true nature and experience the deeper dimensions of consciousness. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools for awakening consciousness. By quieting the mind and turning inward, meditation allows us to experience the stillness and silence that underlies all of existence. Mindfulness meditation, in particular, is a practice that involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When we are in the present moment, we're accessing our core self, which helps us see the thoughts, emotions, and actions of our parts from a much bigger and compassionate perspective. Breathwork is another effective technique for awakening consciousness. By consciously working with the breath, we can influence the state of our mind and body, creating altered states and expansion. Swami Sivananda shares, breathwork or pranayama can help stimulate the pineal gland and enhance spiritual awareness. Dr. Bruce Lipton adds, energy practices and breathwork can positively influence the pineal gland. These techniques help align our energy fields and support higher consciousness. Mind-body practices such as yoga, tai chi, and qigong integrate physical movement, breath, and meditation to promote the flow of energy or qi throughout the body. These practices help align the body and mind, creating a harmonious state that supports the awakening of consciousness. The pineal gland, often referred to as the third eye, is considered by many spiritual traditions to be the seat of consciousness. Awakening the pineal gland is believed to enhance spiritual awareness and deepen our connection to the higher dimensions of consciousness. Let's explore what experts have to say about activating the pineal gland. Dr. Joe Dispenza describes how meditation can activate the pineal gland. He says, meditation helps activate the pineal gland by shifting your brain waves and fostering a state of coherence. When the pineal gland becomes activated, it can release a cascade of neurotransmitters and hormones that help us transcend our normal state of being and reach higher states of consciousness. The pineal gland is the gateway to higher consciousness and spiritual awareness. Activating it opens the door to profound insight and transformation. Dr. Bruce Lipton offers a compelling view when he states, the pineal gland serves as a bridge between the inner and outer worlds, allowing us to access higher dimensions of consciousness and healing. Deepak Chopra shares, the pineal gland is like a cosmic antenna, tuning us into higher frequencies of consciousness and connecting us to the universal source. Some traditions suggest gazing at the sun during the first few minutes of sunrise or the last few minutes of sunset. This practice is believed to activate the pineal gland and stimulate higher states of consciousness. It is important to practice sun gazing with caution to protect your eyes. Dr. Edward Group shares, sun gazing practiced with proper techniques can stimulate the pineal gland and enhance your spiritual perception. It's a way to align with natural light and energy. Hippocrates highlights the medicinal value of sunlight in invigorating the pineal gland. Sunlight is the best of all medicines. By gently exposing your eyes to the sun's rays, you can invigorate the pineal gland and harmonize your spiritual energies. Certain frequencies are believed to resonate with the pineal gland. Listening to binaural beats, singing bowls, chants, or other types of sound baths can help stimulate the pineal gland and induce meditative states and mystical experiences that support spiritual awakening. Many studies have been done and found that fluoride accumulates in the pineal gland and could potentially calcify and reduce the gland's function. Researchers have noted that fluoride's accumulation could affect the gland's ability to produce melatonin, a hormone critical for regulating sleep and circadian rhythms. Diet and detoxification are crucial for maintaining the function of the pineal gland. According to David Wolfe, an author in the field of nutrition and natural health, foods like raw cacao, spirulina, and chlorella can support the pineal gland. Detoxifying your body from fluoride and other toxins can enhance its function and spiritual awareness. Author of Woman's Bodies and Woman's Wisdom and an OB/GYN, Dr. Christiane Northrup connects the pineal gland to DMT, a substance linked to mystical experiences. She says, the pineal gland has been linked to the production of dimethyltryptamine, or DMT, which has been called the spirit molecule. DMT is a substance found in certain plants and can be consumed as a psychedelic drug. It is possible that the brain releases DMT at death, which may explain why people brought back from death describe similar near-death experiences. She also supports a diet rich in raw, organic foods along with supplements like iodine and boron to help decalcify the pineal gland and restore its function. I'll provide a link to an article she wrote on how to support our pineal gland in the notes. Sacred geometry is considered important to awakening consciousness because it embodies fundamental patterns and principles that are believed to reflect the underlying structure of reality and consciousness. Both Dr. Robert Gilbert and Robert Grant view sacred geometry as a powerful tool for elevating consciousness, offering practical methods to engage with these ancient principles in daily life. Dr. Robert Gilbert, founder of the Vesica Institute for Ancient and Modern Holistic Studies, states, sacred geometry is the blueprint of creation and the genesis of all form. It is the manifestation of the divine intelligence in the material world, guiding our consciousness to higher states of awareness. Robert Grant, a polymath, expounds, sacred geometry is the language of the universe, a bridge between the physical and the spiritual realms. It reveals the interconnectedness of all things and allows us to access deeper layers of consciousness. Grant encourages a deep exploration of the mathematical principles behind sacred geometry. By understanding the ratios, proportions, and relationships that govern these shapes, one can gain insight into the nature of reality and the structure of consciousness itself. Matthias de Stefano, a spiritual teacher and modern mystic, adds, engaging with sacred geometry and symbols can activate the pineal gland. These symbols resonate with the higher dimensions of consciousness and help align your spiritual awareness. Dr. Rick Strassman, professor of psychiatry, contributes, exposure to sacred symbols and geometric patterns can stimulate the pineal gland and facilitate spiritual and mystical experiences. Let's look at some practical ways of engaging with sacred geometry. Mandalas are intricate geometric designs that represent the cosmos metaphysically or symbolically. Creating or coloring mandalas can be a meditative practice that helps to focus the mind and connect with deeper aspects of consciousness. Meditating on a completed mandala can also aid in aligning one's inner world with universal patterns, promoting spiritual awakening, as the Tibetans do. Cymatics is the study of visible sound vibrations, often visualized as geometric patterns. By using sound frequencies, such as those produced by singing bowls, tuning forks, or specific musical notes, one can create geometric patterns in water or sand. Meditating on these patterns, or even just listening to the resonant frequencies, can help to align one's energy with the harmonic structure of the universe, fostering a deeper connection to consciousness. Visualization exercises such as imagining the flower of life or the Merkaba can be powerful for expanding consciousness. Janvalo Melchizedek is a spiritual teacher, author, and lecturer known for his teachings on sacred geometry, spirituality, and human consciousness. He teaches specific techniques for visualizing these shapes within one's energy field to activate higher states of awareness and spiritual protection. Creating or experiencing art based on sacred geometric principles, like the golden ratio or the Fibonacci sequence, whether it's drawing, painting, sculpting, or any other medium, can help to attune our consciousness to the harmonious structures that underlie reality. Also, observing and engaging with the natural world where sacred geometry is inherently present can help deepen our connection to consciousness. Finally, let's come back to the connection to the concepts of internal family systems, IFS, and parts work. Dick Schwartz came up with many C words that define the core self. The core self can also be described as consciousness. However, the burdens and conditioning of many of our parts can create a challenge in our ability to awaken our consciousness unless we know how to work with them. These burdens, as Dick Schwartz mentioned in my interview with him, can also get in the way of connecting with our guides. When we know how to access our core self, we can help our parts become more conscious and evolve. With greater core self presence, we have greater access to universal consciousness. Another aspect of the core self is its ability to hold a bigger and bigger view. We really zoomed out in this episode as we explored a perspective of being a unique aspect of the universe wanting to know and experience itself. What impact does this bigger perspective have on you? How does it make you feel? Our parts, on the other hand, tend to have more of a limited perspective or even tunnel vision. When we work with the parts, we simultaneously validate their perspective and help them connect to the much more expansive view of the core self. At the end of this episode, I'll leave you with a quote from Alan Watts. "The universe gave you the greatest gift, consciousness. What you do with it is your gift back to the universe." Thanks for listening to this podcast. If you found this episode helpful, please consider assisting me in reaching more people by sharing it with others or writing a review. Together, let's raise our consciousness to help evolve humanity. For more information, please visit my website, daniellecaron.com. That's DANIELLECARRON.com.